Did you know? Before the throne of the Tor Tiv ever existed, the Tiv people had no central king. For generations, the Tiv lived as a republican society, organized through clans and elders, where leadership was shared and power was not concentrated in a single ruler. Then history smiled on them. It introduced a man whose life changed the structure forever. His name was Makir Zakpe. He became the first Tor Tiv, remembered by many as Buha Tiv, the first lion of the Tiv people. Makir Zakpe was born on April 11, 1896 in Baya in the Numangba district of the present-day Vandikia. He belonged to the Ipusu lineage of the Tiv people within Jechira group. Growing up in a community rooted deeply in Tiv culture and traditions, he learned early the values of courage, responsibility, where the story gets interesting. His life soon moved beyond the village. In 1918, during the era of the British colonial administration in Nigeria, Makir Zakpe joined the colonial military force. He served in the Nigerian regiment of the West African Frontier Force, a military unit composed largely of African soldiers serving under the British command. Through discipline and dedication, he rose to the rank of Sergeant Major, a senior non-commissioned officer responsible for leadership and organizations within the unit. His years in the military shaped him. They exposed him to wider political realities and gave him experience in administration and leadership. After leaving the military service, he continued serving society through civil authority. He worked within the Tiv Native Authority and eventually became a chief. The period after the Second World War brought new political changes. British colonial administration struggled to govern the Tiv people because the Tiv had no single traditional ruler who represented the entire nation. Instead, leadership was decentralized among clans. To solve the administrative challenges, the colonial authority proposed the creation of a central traditional ruler for the Tiv people. The position later became known as the Tor Tiv. In 1946, the decision was finally made to establish the Tor Tivs too. Several respected Tiv leaders were considered for the role. Among the most prominent candidates were Makir Zakpe from the Ipusu lineage and Gondo Aluo from the Ichongo lineage. When the selection process took place, Makir Zakpe emerged victorious, receiving the majority of votes from the electors involved. This is where the plot twist began. With the decision, history changed. Makir Zakpe became the first Tor Tiv. His installation marked the beginning of a new institution in Tiv society, one that served as a unifying symbol for the Tiv people. He ruled from Boko, which became the seat of the Tor Tiv institution. As the first Tor Tiv, his role was not easy. The position itself was new and he had to define what the institution would represent the Tiv people. During his reign, he worked to promote unity among many Tiv clans while maintaining respect for the egalitarian tradition that defined the Tiv culture. He served as spokesman for his people in dealings with colonial authorities and regional administrators. Through that role, he advocated for development in Tiv land, including the improvement of infrastructure, education, and administration. Colonial authorities sometimes expected traditional rulers to act as agents of government control, yet some accounts from Tiv historical narratives suggested that he often tried to balance those expectations with loyalty to his people. This balancing act made his leadership both challenging and significant. His reign lasted roughly a decade, from 1946 until his death in 1956. Although his time on the throne was relatively short, but its impact was lasting. He established the foundation of the Tor Tiv institution and set the precedent that future Tor Tiv would follow. After passing on October 11, 1956 in Boko, Makir Zakpe was buried a few days later in Abago. His death marked the end of the first chapter of Tor Tiv institution, but the institution itself continued to grow stronger. Today, The throne he first occupied remains one of the most respected traditional institutions in Benue State and among the Tiv people worldwide. Makir Zakpe is remembered not only as a traditional ruler, but as a man who stood at the beginning of the new era in Tiv leadership. I tell the stories all the time. Do like, comment, and share your thoughts.